As I record this video, it's actually the 4th anniversary of the release of the Nintendo Switch. It's difficult to even imagine this, but it's been almost a half decade since I picked this console up. I bought mine day one, and in these couple of years, I've managed to play a lot of games, run around on the internet, and of course, well, break a couple Joy-Cons. But now, I've seen a lot of people saying, what comes next? When are we getting a Nintendo Switch Pro or a Nintendo Switch 2? Well, we happen to have an answer to that question as of tonight. Now, this is pretty much confirmed information finally from Bloomberg talking about the future of the Nintendo Switch, and it's interesting. It's actually a pretty different experience than I thought it was going to be, and it's certainly more powerful than I thought it was going to be. Now, this is actually a pretty long article that's very, very technical. I want to take a look at some bullet points because this has a lot of stuff about sales numbers and shipping rates and destinations. I want to start off by looking at these bullet points just done by Wario64. Bloomberg reports that the new Switch model is going to have a 7-inch OLED display that's 720 output. They're going to unveil it later this year. The displays are going into mass production starting in June with initial monthly target of just under 1 million units. Now already, let's just digest that. Now, 7-inch screen, that's pretty good. It basically means that this, bevel, one of the things that I feel like I've seen people kind of hate on the most, people who play the Switch the most in handheld, I've seen people mad about this super thick line around the screen itself. I've heard people call it, the curse of the bevel. It sounds like there's going to be a lot less of that. It sounds like there's going to be a bigger screen real estate itself. And it sounds like the major thing they're trying to do is they're trying to get out of the way the big problems going on with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. Let's face it, the major thing that's really been kind of plaguing this next console launch is shortages, is scalpers. The fact that there's just not a lot of total freaking consoles out there to even pick up. So they're now promising that they're going to make 1 million of these new freaking Switches every single month. Now, the fact that they're going to be starting this in June definitely makes me think that this is a holiday release. They're planning on probably having 5 or 6 million saved up by the time that they show this and put it on store shelves. But let's look at the other half of this, and definitely the thing that I need to break down. We're going to talk more about this OLED in a second, but here's the part that actually I'm more excited about, which is the new Switch model will have 4K resolution when docked to a TV. OLED will consume less battery life, offer higher contrast, and possibly faster response when compared to the current Switch display. Switch and Switch Lite displays are 6.2 and 5.5 in comparison. That means that this is going to be a bigger system, when it comes to screen real estate. But more than that, I'll be honest, the thing I'm most excited about is that 4K resolution. Okay, let's face it, so many gamers say that I don't care about graphics, I don't play pixels. I think that there's a part of this, which is that a lot of us care most about good gameplay. We care about fun leveling systems and great views and, a great way to actually play the games themselves. As long as they have great writing and great vistas and great exploration, of course we love it. Bad graphics, bad visuals is a detriment. And look, I love my Nintendo Switch. I have hundreds and hundreds of hours in multiple different games on this system. The screen at times kind of sucks. Can we all admit that? Can we be adults about this and actually have that freaking tough talk? Sometimes these visuals can get downright blurry. At times there's, when I'm trying to run around in a game like Wolfenstein looks absolutely dreadful at times on the Nintendo Switch. They did the best they could. I'm not exactly dragging the freaking studio that made it or anything, but this definitely needs to be a cleaner, more high-resolution freaking image, especially because of the technical drawbacks. Not just the graphics and stuff, but the physical screen itself of the Nintendo Switch at times is very, very murky. The fact that they're making the jump all the way up to 720p, this is a good chance to see a better look at the Nintendo Switch itself. It's also going to be having much better freaking visuals when it comes to things like battery life, the fact that it's going to run better, look better. This seems like a very good upgrade, and on top of that, the screen being bigger. This obviously is just so fantastic, but going through this report here, looking at the leaks in detail, one of the things that really struck me the most is that it sounds like this is probably all we're going to get for quite a while. Like, they talk about the fact that Nintendo is seeking to sustain. They're trying to basically have enough Nintendo Switches to compete against the Xbox and the PlayStation. They want to make sure that since they had so much success with games like Animal Crossing and they're going against consoles that have the chip crunch, this is their perfect opportunity to keep selling you Nintendo Switches for months or maybe even years in the future. Now, part of the reason I wanted to make this video, and yes, I am filming this in the middle of the night, the main reason I'm doing this is because I think it's time that we temper our expectations. I've seen a lot of Nintendo Switch fans kind of a mix of disappointed and hyped. I have seen a lot of Nintendo Switch fans saying, I love the indie games that come to my system. I'm glad I'm able to support this. I love the exclusives. It's so nice to play Mario and Zelda and Age of Calamity and stuff. But the giant but I keep hearing is people saying, what comes next? Normally we get a new console generation every 5 or 6 years, and this is technically the beginning of year 5 of the Switch. Are they going to try and compete in some way with the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X? Now let me put on my speculation hat, and I'm going to tell you about some of the stuff I have heard. I've managed to talk to some people, and I put my ear to the ground and stuff. I think that this is all we're going to be getting for quite a while. If you're trying to hold out, if you're one of those people that's waiting for a 4K Switch that's going to output constantly in the highest visuals, something that's going to have like a solid state hard drive so it can have the instantaneous load times of the other systems, that's not coming. That's not coming anytime soon. I mean, I think if you're trying to be like a Switch gamer, you want to play the newest Nintendo stuff, you probably just need to pick this up. There's not going to be anything else in the meantime. The Switch 2 is probably a long way off. There's not making any games right now that's supposed to be intended for next gen. The Switch Pro is a decent upgrade. Just for full honesty, I'm definitely freaking buying it, but I think that this is going to be a tinier notch up on the ladder. This is going to be a rung higher up, but not quite next gen. This isn't going to be competing directly, and instead, it's going to be more about just having cool new experiences that you can play in your pocket. Except for the fact that the new system is going to be bigger, so yeah, you know what? I can't fit this in my pocket. I'm probably not fitting a Switch Pro in my pocket either. But what do you think? Already I've actually seen a little bit of anger online. People claiming that this isn't really the Nintendo Switch Pro. There's something new and giant hidden over the horizon. It may be time to take that chill pill. But what do you think? Have you had a chance to look at these leaks? They're pretty freaking interesting. Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all, and keep dreaming. My light burned out right as I pressed record, so you know what? I have no choice. I'm just going to eat a bunch of nachos at midnight because this is what I've decided to do with my 30s. Yeah. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.